Hey friends, welcome back to another Circular Motion. It's Paul with another video for you. I hope you're all well and I hope life's been good to you at the moment. Thanks for joining me. If you're coming back for more, that is absolutely amazing. I love you. If you're brand new, I love you too. Please do me a massive favour and hit subscribe down below. Hit the like button and don't forget to tickle your notification bell to keep abreast of new content. I've got 10 singles to go through excuse me, with you this week. Again, these are from my dad's record collection, and there's some beauty. I've got, I think it was about 100 singles, so I think I'm only 30 deep now, maybe 40 deep, so I've still got about 60 records to get through in terms of that, and loads of LPs to get through, and some 12-inch singles too. So keep coming back to find out what else I've got to share. So I'm going to jump straight into it. I'm going to bring you 7 inches of pleasure 10 times. So, what are we starting with today? We are starting with the Beatles, Revolution. Yeah, so the old Apple label. A lot of these seem to have this sold in the UK subject to resale price conditions, see price lists. I'm not sure what that's all about, but yeah, so it's on the Apple label. It's got the full Apple on one side, half Apple on the other side. Of course, it's got Hey Jude, and I've said it before, these older singles, I mean, this is 1968, and there's a little bit of crackle on this, sadly, but these older singles just sound absolutely amazing. They really do. And this is no exception. I mean, I put it on because I listened to them all before I, you know, sort of as I select them out, I just grab 10 out, listen to them, and then just write a little bit down about them. I've got a little list just down here. And I put, because I didn't have my glasses on, so I just put A side on. So I put that side on. No, I put that side on first, thinking that would be the A side. And so it's Hey Jude. And it blew me away. My not dislike for the Beatles, but I'm not as big a fan as the rest of the world seems to be, but I do appreciate their talent and I recognise their place, you know, in the pantheon of music. Wow, it absolutely knocked my socks off, and Revolution did the same. Again, the guitar sounds absolutely real, but Hey Jude just sounded, and you can put that on through streaming, and I did that. I put a couple of these on through Amazon because I can connect via Bluetooth to I'm pointing down here because my receiver's just down there, and play everything at the same volume, and it just does not do the same. It just does not, and I say do the same because it sounds alright, it sounds decent, but it just doesn't, there's just something missing. It just doesn't project like this. It really doesn't. So yeah, wow, brilliant. I'm not sure, I don't think my dad did this because he's got Beatles on it, and I don't think he would spell it like that. But anyway, wow, brilliant. So that's the first one. Second, we have Ramsey Lewis. Is it Ramsey Lewis? Yes, Ramsey Lewis. Ain't That Peculiar is the B side, and we've got Wade in the Water on the A side. This is an instrumental. So the Beatles reached #1, by the way, in the UK charts. This is an instrumental. I can't get a UK chart placing for this, but it did reach #3 in the US, and both sides are instrumental. And this is a 1972 chess pressing, and it sounds phenomenal again. It does. I mean, I've never heard of Ramsey Lewis, I'll be honest with you. There's something written there, 6145004, which is actually the catalogue number for that. I'm not sure why that's on there. A GRT product distributed by Philips Records, and it does sound, it's kind of bluesy, I suppose. Yeah, you would say that, maybe bluesy, but it is phenomenal. Then we've got this, Phil Collins. So this is an 81 pressing. Phil Collins, And I think so. If Leaving Me Is Easy, and then on the B side, so the A side's 45 RPM, the B side's 33 RPM, and it's got In the Air Tonight, I Missed Again, and If Leaving Me Is Easy Again. And I've written Eric Clapton down there. I'm not sure why I've done that. Top of the Pops as well. Not even sure why I've written that down there, because I did it a couple of days ago. But yeah, it's not great, I'll be honest. It is generally you get albums, like singles were released as like a way to sell albums, as well as obviously shift units. You make money by selling these, and this is just horrific. It just, In the Air Tonight's not too bad, but it just seems like a different version to the original one. And yeah, it sounds awful, and the music is awful too. I'm sorry, Phil, but you know, tell it like it is. So yeah, that hit number 17 in the UK charts. Moving on swiftly, pop pickers at number 7, we have The Who, and we've got Had Enough, which is the A side, and Who Are You, which is also the A side. So it's a double A side. Entwistle apparently wrote both of these. No, Townsend wrote Who Are You. Entwistle wrote the main A side, which was Had Enough. This again, so this is a 78 release. It's an original 78 pressing, and it sounds absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. I put it on. I put Who Are You on first, and again, I keep everything at the same volume, and so I've just come out of listening to Phil Collins, and I put this on, and I nearly fell over because the guitar just literally grabs you by the scrotum and swings you around the room. The harmonies sound absolutely phenomenal. It sounds way better than you would expect anything like this to sound. You know, the records are magic. There is no two ways about it. They are just pure magic. That little black disc can make something sound so phenomenal. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. So yes, so that got to number 18 in the UK charts, and number 14 in the US. So yeah, very good. Moving swiftly along with Mr. David Bowie with Sorrow, which is the A side, which was from his Pin-Ups album, and then Amsterdam. So Amsterdam was a cover by Mort Schumann, or Jacques Brel, with English lyrics by Mort Schumann. And then this was by Feldman, Goldstein and Gotterer. But yeah, it's Bowie, you know. I put Amsterdam on first, and it's just, you know, I know he didn't write either of these tracks, but he arranged them, and it just unreal. It just sounds uncanny, is the only way to describe it. And again, so this is a 73-74 release, somewhere around that. It reached number 3 in the UK charts, which I don't even remember it, but then again in 1973-74 it would have been about 6. So I probably wouldn't have remembered something like this, but it just sounds so good. His voice sounds amazing, and on Amsterdam in particular, he kind of sings with like that kind of upper class boarding school sort of silver spoon in the mouth twang that he had, because he was a very articulate gentleman, and he could enunciate very well. And he, in his phrasing, in his singing, that comes across in some of the stuff he did, and that in particular, his early stuff, that blew me away. That's all I can really say. So moving on to a Mr. Carl Perkins and his blue suede shoes. So yes, Carl, so this apparently, this is from '68 and it is on, it says recorded by Sun, but it's on in Memphis, but it's on the London label over here. This reached number 10 in the UK, and yeah, it's every bit as good as you would expect it to be. Better than Elvis's version, I think, personally. Shoot me if you disagree. Leave a comment down below telling me I'm an idiot. I don't care. It sounds, it's got that sort of recorded down in Memphis quality to it. There's a kind of rawness to it, and again, it gave me goosebumps. I won't lie, it did, listening to it. The B-side, you've got Matchbox, another kind of sort of rock and roll track, 50s, 60s kind of rock and roll stuff. Yeah, brilliant, excellent. You know, I feel blessed that my dad's given me all these great records. I really, really do. So, moving on, we've got, actually you get two for the price of one here, because they're both, there's two jam singles in one sleeve. So one of them, this one is a double A side, a bomb in Water Street. So the A's in inverted commas, so I think it's meant to be like atomic bomb, with the B side of David Watts. And then we've got Strange Town with a double A side, and the B side here is the Butterfly Collection. And these sound surprisingly good. I loved Going Underground and Eating Rifle. They were great tracks. Town Call Malice was good, but I think Paul Weller's a bit of a wanker personally. But you know, that early stuff with Bruce Foxton and that dude on drums who was criminally underrated, I think. It's a really, both of these singles are really good and they sound phenomenal. These are both original. So Bomb in Water Street is 78 and Strange Town was 79. Water Street got to 25 and Strange Town got to number 15 in the UK charts, and both on the Polydor label, and they are both really good pressings. They are really rich. You know, they kind of leap out the speakers at you, which is just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Again, though, it's not something I would have expected my dad to have had, but you know, fair play. Next up, Mr. Billy Joel. Moving Out, Anthony's song, which is the A side, and then B side is Vienna, and on the CBS label, original 78, got to number 35 in the UK. I'd never heard of it before, and back in 1978 I was definitely like starting to get into music and listening to records and stuff, and this, I don't know, I just don't remember it. It's alright, it sounds decent, it sounds better than the last Billy Joel one that I pulled out a few weeks back. So, but yeah, it is what it is. Moving quickly on, St. Elmo's Fire by John Parr. Obviously it was the title track from the film of the same name, which had a lot of the Brat Packers in there. Emilio Estevez, Bob Lowe, Andrew McCarthy, Demi Moore, Judd Nelson, which you don't see a lot of him these days, Ali Sheedy, and Mary Winningham. Mare Winningham, never heard of her, actually. But yeah, it's a great track, St. Elmo's Fireman in Motion. He's got like a great voice. It sounds a little bit more subdued compared to the rest. It's an 85 pressing, original with its picture cover, obviously. And there's not much to say about it really. The B-side's shit, Treat Me Like an Animal. It's just typical kind of radio friendly rock that your grandma might like, kind of rubbish. But St. Elmo's Fire is a great track, and he's got a hell of a voice on that. And finally, so again, this isn't my dad's writing because my dad isn't stupid, but it's Brain Fury, or if you can read, it's Brian Ferry. So Another Time, Another Place, that's the B side. The A side is his version of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, which this is from 1974. Again, it's the original pressing. This hit, John Parr hit number 6 in the UK charts, by the way. This hit number 17 in the UK charts. It's on the Island label. It was one of his, I think it might have been his first solo release, maybe. So he did it outside of Roxy Music, and it's still got that. If you've listened to the first few Roxy Music albums, they're very quirky, especially that first album. It's absolutely joyous, and he's kind of singing it because his later stuff he plays to his strengths, and you know he realizes he's a very handsome man, and he kind of does it like a crooner. His solo stuff, but this he kind of does it in that kind of weird vibrato kind of odd voice that he's so prevalent on the first Roxy Music album. His phrasing is, you know, typical Brian Ferry, basically. It's not like your Avalons. This is the good stuff. So it's quite a unique version of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. So yeah, and that concludes our lesson for today. It's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. I know I've waffled on a little bit more longer than usual, but hopefully you've enjoyed it too. If you have, please leave me a like, please leave me a comment, tell me what you'd like to see, make some recommendations, ask me a question, whatever you want, and please, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Do it for the children, if for nothing else. Anyway, until next time, thank you very much. You've been real. I've been Paul. Take care.